California.
It's big, it's beautiful, and you're gonna love it.
Welcome to Breakfast of Imbeciles, the thinking man's analysis of giant hamster balls, lunch lady larceny, ham, and all the other hard-hitting stories cable news doesn't want you to hear.
No, it's not.
It's different. It's unusual.
Not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Breakfast of Imbeciles.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on Griffin Radio at Grossmont College. I am DJ Lunchbox here to bring you stuff. Really, it can't be called anything other than just simply stuff. Griffin Radio, don't forget you can check us out on Griffin Radio 119 on Facebook. Our Instagram channel is Griffin Radio SD, and of course you can always hear us as usual on the Griffin Radio channel on the TuneIn app for your Android and iPhone. If you're feeling even more industrious, you can always check us out too on the website for the school here, grossmont.edu/Griffin Radio. And I also have an email address that I appreciate any questions, comments, and concerns directed to, which is lunchboxthedj@gmail.com. I actually got my own email address correct for the first time, so I think I'm going to pat myself on the back here. I'll do it later because I don't want to blow a rotator cuff. Welcome to Breakfast of Imbeciles, everybody. I figured we would start this murky Thursday here in El Cajon with a couple announcements here from campus. Let's see. Grossmont College Theater Department is presenting Flight or Fright, a special fundraising event coordinated by Brian Rickle, on October 26th and 27th, 2 nights only. That is this coming Friday and Saturday at 7:30, Building 26, Room 220. Tomorrow and Saturday, 7:30, Building 26, Room 220. It's an event put on by the Grossmont College administrators, staff, faculty, and friends. It is promising to be an absolutely fantastic event. There's a lot of people involved that are very excited about it. They've actually kind of got that legitimate, oh, I'm excited to be a part of this, not kind of like, oh, it's going to be so great, you should come by. No, this is actually going to be a lot of fun. So please, 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 please be sure to come by. You can get your tickets by calling 619-644-7234, 619-644-7234, or visiting grossmont.edu/theater brochure, and theater is in the classical spelling with the R-E, so THEATRE brochure. Gotta crank my headphones a little bit there. Okay, now I can hear myself screaming into my own ears. Also, on the 27th, the International Club is hosting a Halloween party. It's $10 to attend and will be held at the Griffin Gate. The deadline for non-members has passed. So if you're not a member of the International Club, you had until yesterday. So it's too late to sign up, but you probably still might want to swing by the actual International Club office just to see if you can register and they'll let you go. Again, it's International Club, so it promises to be a pretty awesome event there. You can register in Building 10, where the International Club is headquartered. So, sorry, I don't know if you can register. Go to Building 10, talk to the International Club, see if they will let you register, see if they will open the velvet rope for you. It promises to be a lot of fun. The International Club does a lot of these parties. They go to a lot of trouble. They go to a lot of expense. It's always amazing events that the International Club puts on here at Grossmont, so please be sure to swing by and enjoy the Halloween party they're putting on for you guys. I mean, come on. It's all for you. Skimming my list. That's an attractive sound. The Grossmont Theater Arts Department is also, with generous support from the Rice Family Foundation, presenting Galoshes of Fortune by Elizabeth Wong and directed, again, by our own Brian Rickle. The show is on November 2nd and 3rd at 7:30. You can pick up tickets, again, same phone number, same web address earlier, 619-644-7234, or visit the grossmont.edu/theater brochure. And what did I just say? It's the classical R-E spelling. So theater, THEATRE brochure. Get tickets for that event. It's a great show. Come on and see it. It's only 2 nights only. Don't be the weird one in your group who has to fake laugh and pretend you know what your friends are talking about. Go see it, and then you can be the one to make everyone laugh and shuffle their feet awkwardly because they have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. We have the Basket Brigade of San Diego, Saturday, November 17th from 9 to 5. 9 to 5 here at Grossmont. If you don't know the address for Grossmont, by the way, the address is 8800 Grossmont College Drive in El Cajon. It's really hard to miss. It's on a lonely stretch of the 125 freeway. Chances are, whichever direction you're going, if you see the college to your left or right, you've missed the exit. So try again. Circle around, hit Navajo or whatever it is down the street, or go down to, Mission Gorge at the end. Little U-turn, come back, boom, you found Grossmont. Basket Brigade of San Diego from 9 to 5 on Saturday, November 17th. Help host a community food drive. Get your friends, family, and coworkers involved so we can feed 200 Grossmont College families on the day of the event. Bring your donations to the ASGC office. This is in partnership also with the San Diego Basket Brigade, Grossmont College CalWorks, and the Student Affairs and Gizmo's Kitchen. Little rundown what they kind of need. It's the usual sort of thing you would give to any sort of food donation drive. They need the basic stuff. They need gravy of jars or packets of gravy, canned corn, canned pretty much anything. Marshmallows, juice, whole pumpkin pie, frozen. If you want to go so far as to getting a frozen turkey or a $20 gift card for a turkey, just give. This is an absolutely fantastic event. This is a great way to give and help out people that desperately need some help around the holidays because, like it or not, they are coming up, and it's going to land on you real quick. So maybe just kind of salve your terrible conscience. Sorry, I'm used to having Jesse here, and he's the terrible conscience of the show, and he has not rolled in yet. Just help out. Basket Brigade of San Diego, Saturday, November 17th from 9 to 5. They'll be here the whole day. And, in that vein, we'll go ahead and talk about Gizmo's Kitchen here. Gizmo's Kitchen is in partnership with the San Diego Food Bank, which provides food assistance to any currently enrolled Grossmont College student experiencing inconsistent access to adequate food. The program provides short-term relief and offers referrals for additional community food resources for ongoing assistance with food insecurity. I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to keep saying it all semester. It's very important. 67% of community college students experience food insecurity. 67%. That's 2 out of 3 students. So chances are the people sitting either in front or behind you or to your left or your right, they haven't eaten today, and they don't know when they're going to eat next. And that's a terrible thing to put up with when you're also going through the stress of being a college student. I mean, being hungry is awful. It's bad enough. But when you add in the stress of also being a student, that's unfair. That's inhuman. So Gizmo's Kitchen's a huge, fantastic organization we have here on Grossmont. They basically help starving students. So food pantry services are confidential if you need to use it. They may be accessed once a week with your valid Grossmont student ID when classes are in session. So fall semester, summer semester, spring semester. You can go to the Student Health Services, Building 60, Room 130, during Monday through Thursday from 10 to 2. Fridays they are closed, unfortunately, but if you need assistance outside of those hours, please call 211 and they will direct you toward resources. So absolutely immensely worthwhile organization we have here at Grossmont. So if you have a chance, please give, please help out, and please help your fellow students. Thank you so much. Well, with that, I believe we are going to segue seamlessly there into the funny haha stuff. It's gotten ridiculous. I thought this was just kind of going to be a one-time deal, doing the kind of stupid rhetorical questions. But it's become surprisingly popular. I have been hearing from some people that just start scratching their heads when they hear some of these really stupid questions. So I figured we would try to make this a semi-regular part of the show whenever the mood strikes me or I'm able to find enough sufficiently stupid questions to bring to you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I bring to you Breakfast of Imbeciles Rhetorical Questions. Why do we say something is out of whack? What is a whack? When someone asks you a penny for your thoughts and you put your 2 cents in, what happens to that other penny? Why do croutons come in airtight packages? When cheese gets its picture taken, what do you say? When a person who plays the piano is called a pianist, or pianist, but a person that drives a race car, why are they not called a racist? Why are a wise man and a wise guy opposites? Why do overlook and oversee mean opposite things? That's like the whole flammable, inflammable thing. Of course, it's different words that mean absolutely the same thing, even though they sound different. Yeah, I just never got that. English is such a weird language. If lawyers are disbarred and clergymen are defrocked, doesn't it follow that electricians can be delighted, musicians denoted, cowboys deranged, models deposed, tree surgeons debarked, and dry cleaners depressed? If FedEx and UPS were to merge, would they call the resulting company Fed Up? If it's true that we're here to help others, then what exactly are the others here for? How come no one only says, it's only a game, when their team is winning? Whatever happened to preparations A through G? You think those were just the test versions and there's a whole bunch of people walking around with... never mind, I'm not going there. Is it possible to be totally partial? Should vegetarians eat animal crackers? That's a great point. It's a moral issue. How come we choose from just 2 people to run for president, but 50 for Miss America? If Superman could stop bullets with his chest, why did he duck when somebody threw a gun at him? Why do people press harder on a remote control when they know the battery is dead? Why is it that in the U.S., if you take off all your clothes, walk down the street waving a machete, firing an Uzi, terrified citizens will phone the police and report, "There's a naked person outside"? If the Pope dies, is he being promoted or fired? If a product is considered better than the leading brand, why isn't it the leading brand? Who closes the bus door once the driver gets off? If you drop soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty? Are eyebrows considered facial hair? Now I think that's a good point. And also, I've asked this of several people that I find, relatively intelligent. Why do beards stop at the neck? On most people, not the exceedingly hirsute. Why are there no B batteries? That is a fascinating question. I have absolutely no idea why. I skimmed briefly. I didn't really do any in-depth research, I confess. But there's like 50 different versions of A batteries, and then it just skips straight into a whole phalanx of C batteries. So I don't know. That's just weird. If vampires can't see their reflections, why is their hair always so neat? If bread is square, why is sandwich meat round? Is the word dictionary in the dictionary? How can something be both new and improved? Now that's a good one too. I mean, it's supposed to be stupid, but that's a good point. How can you have an improved version of something that hasn't existed before? And of course the last one. Why aren't drapes double-sided so it looks nice on the inside and outside of your home? Now, that one I kind of had some questions on. Does that mean that if drapes should be double-sided, that they should have a second side on the outside of your house, or that they should just have a nice second side so that people looking in your windows are impressed by your decorating skills? I don't know. I just found that very strange. So, yeah, Breakfast of Imbeciles. Never more truly aptly named than today, apparently. So these are the wonderful rhetorical questions that we've just compiled for you to think about and scratch your head over while you're hopefully driving carefully down the freeway or sitting at your desk pretending to work. Because, honestly, what else are you going to do? It's Thursday morning. It's Thursday. It's still foggy outside, so that's kind of fun. I like that. We are going to take a quick commercial break here on Griffin Radio. This is Back to Life by Soul to Soul. I am DJ Lunchbox here every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. We will see you back here in a few minutes. Welcome back to Breakfast of Imbeciles. I am DJ Lunchbox here on Griffin Radio every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. Don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook at Griffin Radio 119. Our Instagram account is Griffin Radio SD, and of course, you can catch us on the TuneIn app under the Griffin Radio channel. So welcome back, everybody. I figured we would launch straight into some news here because there's a lot of stories and there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there. I would just want to say, while I spend a fair amount of time looking around for stories during the week, and it's kind of nice because a few of the stories that I get have actually been donated. I've actually had a few people call in, or not call in, but email me or send me a link on Facebook with some stories they wanted to hear on the air, and I, of course, am grateful for any sort of contribution people might have, because it's fun if we make this kind of an interactive experience. So if you have something you'd like to hear said on the show, or a story that you've come across, hit me up at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to take a look at what you got. So anyway, while I was looking for some of these stories and looking for the sounds for them, there is just a god-awful amount of really, really bad CG preschool videos. It's just all of these weird little little videos, and they've got these horrible, uncanny valley faces and families, and it's just horrible. I mean, it's creepy. I would never, ever let one of my kids watch these things because it's horrifying. I don't understand where the money is coming from for these, and one of the videos I found had over 135 million views. I'm assuming it's just parents who are tired and they're a little desperate for 5 minutes of some peace and quiet. But it makes looking for content for these stories a pretty perilous adventure, because they're just pretty freaking awful. So yeah, we can just segue seamlessly right in here to get some news. After India Martin received an unwanted gift from her two daughters, she proceeded to attack them until police until police arrived.
No wire hangers! What's wire hangers doing in this closet when I told you no wire hangers ever?
Jackson County Sheriff's Office received a call at approximately 9:30 p.m. regarding a domestic dispute. The investigating officer spoke to one of India's daughters as she told the officer her mother was mad because all she received for Mother's Day was a card. In a fit of rage, her mother began to throw items around the apartment before she grabbed a metal broom and began to beat one of her daughters on the arms and legs repeatedly. When another daughter tried to save her sister, India punched her in the mouth and pulled her hair back. India ordered the children to clean the apartment, but the children protested, so she told them to leave her house, where they waited outside for the police to arrive. One of the children had visible swelling and bruising on her lips, and the other child had 2 large welts on her left arm. Here's my favorite part of this story here. After the news broke, India, who worked at Ed White High School, was fired. So that's a real stable person you want working around your kids. Girl's got her a card. It's Mother's Day. I'm guessing it was either maybe the wrong card, or they got her a get well or happy bat mitzvah or something, and she just lost it. She starts clubbing her kids over with a broom because she was upset about getting the wrong gift for Mother's Day. Mama, if you're listening, I love you. I love you. Yeah. That is so sad. There had to have been some other I'm not trying to make an excuse for this woman. I'm just saying that can't have been the reason that set her off. There had to have been some other things that were just stressing her the hell out in her life. If giving her a card, just a card for Mother's Day, sent her over the edge and made her snap like that, that's just, I don't know. That's just going to have to be something that the police have to get involved with at some point, because that's not going to happen. When a student at Da Vinci Charter Academy of Davis, California, bought cookies in for her classmates, they were definitely an old family recipe. The student allegedly baked her grandfather's ashes into the cookies and fed them to the other students.
It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. If the way is hazy, you gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy. Never use a messy recipe. The cake will
Some students claimed they knew the cookies contained human remains and ate them anyway. Now, authorities aren't 100% sure the story is true, but they have said they've looked into it and it's credible. The LA Times reported the student brought the cookies to school on October 4th and gave them to at least 9 other students. Some of them didn't know that the human remains were part of the recipe and were later horrified. Others knew, and one boy told local media that one of the 2 girls who distributed the cookies showed him the relative's urn. He ate the cookie anyway and reported the cookie had a normal flavor. But if you ever ate sand as a kid, you know you can kind of feel it crunching between your teeth, he said. So there was a tiny little bit of that involved. It's unclear what the student's motivation was or if the cookies were a Halloween prank. Authorities are still trying to determine the appropriate discipline. Police have opened a case, and officers considered a charge for disposal of human remains in an improper manner. They may instead apply public nuisance charges, Davis Police Lieutenant Paul Doroshov told The Times. It's unclear how much ash was contained in the cookies, but no students reported feeling sick afterwards, so there's that. My favorite part is they don't know for sure if there was ash in the cookies, but it's credible. I wonder if that speaks to the history of this girl. Oh yeah, Kelly, yeah. She's got a history of this kind of thing. We totally could see her putting the remains of her grandfather in cookies, baking it up, and serving it to her classmates, and without telling them. That's just twisted. I'm now that I'm reading this out loud for the third time, I'm not sure if I want to declare shenanigans on this one or not. I got sucked in once, if you might remember, from last semester when we talked about the Japanese breeding visas, which is still a sore spot to me today. But this story, I don't know if I want to say that this one actually happened or not. It just, I don't know. It just sounds like somebody who this girl may have gotten her classmates to kind of spread a rumor. Because I don't know if you remember high school, but it's real easy to start spreading just complete nonsense. Not that I ever did that. No. So yeah. Ashes and cookies. They were kind of sandy. Pecan sandies, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That's just bizarre to me. Let's see. What's this other one we got here? An Australian snake catcher said that 2 kids had a lucky escape when they were unexpectedly joined in their backyard pool by a deadly eastern brown snake.
I jumped in the water, we're going for a swim. It's a hot, sunny day, so come on, let's all get in.
Stuart McKenzie said he was called in on Sunday to a property in Nambour, Queensland, where 2 young kids had been swimming in a backyard pool until they were joined by a venomous snake. McKenzie told Yahoo 7 News the snake went through the pool and went in between the kids. They got a huge fright when they saw it. It had plenty of opportunities to bite them, but it just didn't. He was trying to get from one side to the other. That just gives me the screaming horrors. It's bad enough. Okay, I want to qualify this. I'm not really bothered by reptiles. I held a snake once when I was a kid, and I wasn't expecting the feeling of the muscles moving under its belly, so it kind of freaked me out. So I don't want to hold a snake, but it doesn't really freak me out. However, a snake in water is just really... there's something about that gets to me. Now, when you... if you're in a pond or something, okay, that's one thing. You're in his home. You're in his place. But when you're at home in your pool, and you're just paddling around, and you got your big, water noodles and crap, and... you suddenly look over and you see this brown snake swimming through the water, kind of heading towards you. That's gonna freak me out. I don't know if I could handle that. They might have to drain the pool after I was in there and sanitize it a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say here. But it wasn't just a snake; it was a venomous snake. Because of course, Australia, where everything can kill you. I mean, I'm sure the drywall has at least 10% venom in it. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Some of these headlines, when I come across these stories, I look at them and I'm compelled to read them because I can't imagine that the headline is actually what it says, because you'll read a headline and it says something like John Travolta marries Elvis clone or something, and then you look into it and it turns out they're talking about John Travolta marrying somebody's daughter who looks like it's all BS. But yeah, this story was exactly what it said on the title. 2 kids paddling around in a pool and a big friggin' venomous snake just dodged right between them. That just freaks me out too much. An employee at a Chinese mall was caught on camera falling into a shark tank during feeding time for the undersea predators.
Dana, 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 Dana. Hey, I'm gonna eat y'all.
The video, filmed at the Huayue Plaza in Jiangxing, China, shows a mall employee using a bridge over the shark tank as a shortcut while en route to a meeting and falling through a feeding hatch which had been left open. The woman is seen splashing in the tank for about 2 minutes while the lemon sharks in the tank circled her, and then she was plucked out of the water later without any injuries. A mall spokesperson said that the sharks are not aggressive. So I looked these sharks up, the lemon sharks, and they actually get pretty darn big. So, I mean, I know a lot of different animals, a lot of sharks aren't they're not always aggressive. You know, not everything in the ocean is a great white, for God's sake. But these were some big freaking sharks, and I watched the video on this, and it was okay. So this mall has this big circular shark tank in the middle of the concourse, you know, down the mall, and there's a walkway overhead, and there was this hatch that was left open, and this hatch was like 3 by 3 feet, so it was pretty big. And it reminded me a little bit of an airplane door on its side. It wasn't just a door, it was actually a pretty heavy hatch. This woman was running across this walkway over the shark tank, and then of course, right as she got to the tank, the hatch that was open, she tripped and just boop right in. Just went right into the water. Why on earth would you be running over a shark tank? This wasn't like a covered shark tank. It was an open air with a gangplank over it that was used for, you know, I guess maintenance and feeding and everything. But why on earth would you, if you were a maintenance worker, either cleaning or feeding or whatever you're doing with these sharks, why would you leave the tank door open? This was just, to me, this was Murphy's Law. This was inevitable. Something was going to happen just like this. A shark tank, as an attraction instead of a mall, with the door left open, of course somebody's going to fall in. There is no other way. There's no other way for that to have proceeded. But I love the fact too that she was paddling around in there for 2 minutes before they finally got somebody who was able to haul her out. Murphy's armchair quarterbacking here. But I would think if you had a shark tank with a feeding hatch, you would have some sort of ladder attached to the side of it, some sort of railing to climb back up or something nearby. But yeah, she was just down there for 2 minutes while the sharks were circling around her before they finally got her out of there. I mean, come on. Why on earth do you need a shark tank in a mall? This isn't like it's P. Diddy's house, you know. This is just a mall. So I don't. Some of these stories now, they just leave me with more questions than answers. I don't know what to ask on these. It's just very strange. I like this one here. So this story I had to label stupidly obvious. A 9-year-old Canadian girl quickly sold out of all of the Girl Scout cookies she was selling by setting up shop outside a marijuana store. Elena Childs set up outside Nova Cannabis in Edmonton marijuana shop to take advantage of the foot traffic from the first legal day of cannabis sales across Canada earlier in the week. The girl quickly sold all 30 boxes of cookies that she brought, raising more than $90 for the Girl Guides, a Canadian group similar to the Girl Scouts in the United States. So my bad, she wasn't a Girl Scout, she was a Girl Guide. Sean Childs, Elena's father, said he saw it as both a business opportunity for his daughter and an opportunity to teach her about Canada's new marijuana rules. Now, I don't know why you would need to teach your daughter necessarily about new rules because... Now, I guess I should have looked this up, but I assume that the medical marijuana consumption in Canada is... sorry, not medical marijuana, just marijuana consumption. I assume that the rules up there are similar in the U.S. where you have to be a particular age, 18 or older or 21 or older, whatever it is. So... she's 9. It doesn't really seem like there's really much need to teach her about that now, except you're 9, don't do weed. You're not allowed to do weed. It's illegal for you to do weed. The end. It doesn't, I don't know. We were going to sell them in the neighborhood, and it's always been a little slow, he told CTV News. Elena was actually bit by a dog once, but he said that selling all the cookies outside of the weed store took under 45 minutes. It amazed me how quickly they went, he told CBC News. Even people driving in cars on the avenue would stop and roll down their windows and ask for cookies. He said the experience was educational for his daughter. I bet it was. seeing those people rolling in and out of that head shop was just educational as hell. Now, I had a different song, an alternate version that I wanted to use today, but I wasn't quite certain which would go over better, so I'll just play it for you now anyway. From Green Day's oh God, what was this album? Dookie, whatever it was. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I grew up with Green Day when I was in high school when this song came out, and I don't want to hate on him, but I, for some reason, have barely been able to understand a word that Billy Joe Armstrong sings. He always sounds like that tiny little nose of his has a bunch of cotton stuffed up in it. So anytime one of their new albums came out, I had to go grab the lyrics.com or whatever it was to actually, or the liner notes from the CD to figure out what the hell he was singing about. So yeah, girl decided to be an enterprising girl guide and be absolutely brilliant by setting up outside a weed shop so that she could start peddling her cookies at them. And I love that she sold out in under 45 minutes. That is so awesome. How many boxes did she? 30 boxes. So now, I mean, when I go by the Girl Scouts outside of the grocery store by my house, I'll go home with anywhere from 2 to 4 boxes. And that's just for me. I'll get a sleeve of Thin Mints, rip off one end, and then just put the open end in my mouth, grab the other end, and squeeze it like a pastry bag. And those cookies are gone. It's not pretty. But, you know, you and I have grown very close now in these weeks that we've been, so I feel safe in confessing this to you. Oh, man, it's just so stupid. So this story here, this story was actually submitted by our reluctant listener, Ted. Reluctant listener Ted had found this story and hit me up on Facebook and linked it to me. Firefighters in California said a man who was house-sitting for his parents tried to use a blowtorch to kill some dangerous spiders and set fire to the home.
Itsy bitsy spider, climbed up the water spout. Down in the rain, he watched the spider around.
The Fresno Fire Department said firefighters responded on Tuesday night to reports of a house fire in the Woodward Lake Housing Department. Firefighters said the man who made the call escaped the house safely. He later told firefighters he had found some black widow spiders in the house and been trying to kill them with a blowtorch when he sparked the blaze. Now, I don't know about you, but I use a broom. I'll just whack those little bastards with a broom. No injuries were reported from the fire, which damaged the second story of the home and the attic. Arizona's Tucson Fire Department responded to a similar incident in October 2017, where the department said a man had been attempting to use a propane torch to kill some spiders under his family's mobile home when the structure caught fire. Ladies and gentlemen, let this be a public service announcement to you. Do not use fire to kill spiders in your home. Use a broom, use a paper towel, use a roll of paper towels, use some Raid, get some spray. There are literally dozens of options, none of which I'm going to continue enlisting here because I frankly ran out of things to mention. But the point is, don't set fire to your house. Or in the case of this story, don't set fire to your parents' house. Your parents' house. They're not going to be happy when they come back. Could you house sit for us? We have to go somewhere, and we're going to the Mayo Clinic because I've got that rumbling prostate problem. And so they go off, they come home, and they find the top half of their house has been incinerated. What happened? Oh, spiders. Oh, okay. Did you not use a towel? No, so, don't set fire to your house because you have a spider. This shouldn't need to be said. It sounds like a good idea, but if you actually think about it for more than 2 seconds, it's not a good idea. So please, ladies and gentlemen, do not attempt to torch spiders. That's just... You'll burn your parents' house down. That's the moral of the story here. Animal experts were summoned to a California road on Tuesday to rescue a sea lion that decided to stop in the middle of traffic and refused to budge.
Baby, I can pay you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh,
Did you get it? Did you get it? Story about a seal? Okay. San Diego police said they were called in about 3:30 on Monday about an animal in the road, and they arrived to find the sea lion lying on its back in the middle of an intersection in the Point Loma neighborhood, which I actually worked in earlier this year. So if I'd still been there, I might have been able to cover this firsthand. A SeaWorld San Diego crew was summoned to the scene and loaded the female sea lion into a cage to be taken for examination. A SeaWorld specialist said the sea lion didn't have any apparent injuries, but was just lying in the road, which was unusual behavior. Officials said that she was released, or she will be released, if she's found to be in good health. So, I was questioning whether to add this to the little news list, because it's kind of mildly interesting, but really it was local news more than anything else that made it kind of interesting, because not much happens here in San Diego that I'm aware of. Working for the radio station and doing a lot of news around here, you'd think I'd know more that's going on, but apparently I'm just kept in the dark. So yeah, sea lion just crawled up out of the water, walked onto the road, and decided to hang out. I don't know if it was necessarily even something that would be unusual behavior, as the SeaWorld vet was saying. Maybe the road was just warm. We're in that weird seasonal shift right now where everything's kind of changing. It's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. And so maybe the sea lion was just, screw it. It's hot asphalt. I like this. I'm going to hang out right here. I don't know. Okay. So I know on Tuesday I said that Guinness World Book of Records stories aren't news, and I still stand by that. But this is just so asinine on its face that I had to bring this up. A cyclist is attempting to break a Guinness World Book of Records by riding from California to Florida while popping a wheelie.
Well, I'm going away, baby, and I won't be back till fall. And I'm going.
Kurt Osborne, 49 of Las Vegas, started his back wheel ride at the Santa Monica Pier on October 12th and arrived Monday in Tucson, Arizona, about 500 miles into his trip. Osborne is attempting to ride to Cocoa Beach, Florida, while wheeling a total distance of 2,900 miles to break his own Guinness World Book of Records and raise money for children's disability charities. That is the only redeeming part of this whole story, is that he's doing this for charity. I don't think that when people specifically set out to do something, I'm not going to say stupid because sometimes there's some interesting things, but something unusual, that's newsworthy. And I disagree with most of the whole Guinness World Book of Records thing anyway, because it's so contrived. You could pick almost literally anything and choose to do it to an extreme, and then they'll say, oh, we're going to put you in the book. It's like, big damn deal. Who cares? Now you've just spawned a whole bunch of other copycats that don't want to go out and do the same thing, and everybody's got to have a hobby, I guess, but I just think it's such a big waste of time. But this guy is going to be riding on a motorcycle on his back tire for 2,900 miles so that he can break his own record. Take up chess in the park. Do something a little closer to home. If this brings you pleasure, that's fine. I'm not, I guess, kink shaming here. No, that's not what that is. I don't know. I just find that almost offensively pointless, and it's really, except for the whole children's charity thing, I completely am behind him for that. But this whole endeavor is just one big scream, look at me, look at me, look at me, look what I'm doing. And I just find it so tasteless. I don't know what it is about it that just bothers me, but it does. I don't know. I don't know. I got nothing. That's kind of all I had to say for that. An Australian man who went viral after using a mobility scooter to tow his large boat said police told him to expect charges. Shane Swanscott became an unexpected viral star when bystanders posted photos to social media showing him using the small mobility scooter to tow his boat on a road in Belmont, New South Wales. So this guy had a boat. He was just had hitched to his rascal somehow and was just towing it down the road, and I guess police just had a little issue with that. Swanscott said he finished working on the boat about the same time his driver's license was suspended, so he decided to use his rascal to tow the boat to the harbor. Now that just leaves me with even more questions. Why was his license suspended? It doesn't say how old he was. It doesn't say if he'd had any charges or anything filed, so I don't know why his license was suspended, but I just find it hysterical that having no driver's license didn't slow him down. He just decided to take his rascal out on the open road, hitched his boat to it, and was heading down to the marina. He said he never made it to the harbor as he was stopped by police. He said the police told him to expect to be charged with an offense linked to the incident, but they have not yet told him what the charge will be. So now I'm kind of I don't know who to root for, because generally when I see people driving rascals on the road, it's a little bit of a show. I have some photos I took years ago when I was in the drive-thru at a Jack in the Box near my house, and the guy in front of me was in his bright fire engine red mobility scooter, and I kid you not, he had overalls and a straw hat on, white t-shirt. So he had just gone for a look and was completely leaning into it, and I applaud him for it, but I also kind of shame him for it a little bit, because I posted some of those pictures on my Facebook page, and I totally lost the point of that little diatribe there. But yeah, so this guy just decided he wasn't gonna let the police get in his way, and I had actually pulled up a second audio clip for this. I was going to play it for our dear friend DJ B. Millie, who is out sick today, unfortunately. So hopefully he's listening from home and we'll be able to hear this right now.
I'm sailing away.
Just touches you, doesn't it? Just gets you right there.
Set an open course for the virgin sea. 'Cause I've got to
Oh,
be
man.
free.
I'm sorry, I should have turned this off already, but it's hypnotic. I can't help but listen to it. All right, so we're going to take a little break here. We're going to play some Linkin Park. This is In the End, and we're going to take a break here on Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Griffin Radio. I am DJ Lunchbox. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Breakfast of Imbeciles, here every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Griffin Radio. I am your intrepid host, DJ Lunchbox here. Don't forget to check us out on Griffin Radio 119 on Facebook, and our Instagram account is Griffin Radio SD. You can always catch us on the TuneIn app under the Griffin Radio channel for Android and iPhone. We are always available and here for you. Don't forget, you can also email me at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com and let me know anything you might want to hear on the air, or let me know if you find any of this the least bit interesting, because feedback is very useful to all of us here in the radio industry. So we were just finishing up our little news roundtable for the day. We've got a couple more stories we could cover here. This story just made me feel just creepy all under. I was not happy about this one. An alleged smuggler in India was found with 3 venomous cobras hidden under the seat of his motor scooter. A video recorded by wildlife officials in Bandipur, Karnataka, shows what authorities found when they stopped the man and searched his scooter. The man who had been reported frequenting a nearby forest region for suspected poaching activities was found to be hiding 3 hissing cobras under the seat of his vehicle. The footage shows the snakes were alive and showed aggression toward their rescuers. Well, I would show aggression too if I'd been crammed into the seat of somebody's moped and sat on. Cobras are protected species in India, but they are prized by poachers for their skins and venom. What in the world could you do with cobra venom? Is this like some sort of Klingon thing where you make an alcoholic beverage out of it, and if you survive, you are now a man? I mean, that's... What in the world would you do with Well, I mean, you could, assassinate people or something, but I mean, that's silly. I don't know if I would have even been able to have sat down on that moped, let alone gone anywhere near it, knowing that 3 angry cobras were about 3 inches beneath my junk on that moped. Oh my God, he's got some big brass ones, or I'm assuming he does, assuming he hasn't been bitten. That's just, and the video on this story was just awful. The the seat was already off when the people were examining it, so it wasn't a big reveal party or anything. But there were 3 cobras in the seat, in the little compartment under the seat where you can store things, and they were all rearing up with their hoods out. And it's okay. I know what I said earlier about not being freaked out by reptiles, but that's a little bit of a different story. We went to the zoo several times over the summer. We got a couple of passes, which has been a lot of fun, and we go through the reptile house most of the time. And the snakes are really interesting to look at, but there is some sort of atavistic horror when you see a cobra that's it's not like that sort of irrational, oh, I want to kill it, this is a horrible thing. It's just kind of like that little lizard part of your brain in the back speaks to you and says, that is a dangerous animal. You should probably just step back and walk away. So to have 3 of those things packed in under you on your moped, that guy's got some big brass ones, but he was poaching, so thank God that they caught him, and hopefully he won't be pestering any more of these terribly, terribly, terribly venomous king cobras any longer. Sean Sykes Jr. pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession with intent to sell cocaine, heroin, and marijuana using a firearm in furtherance of a drug crime, according to the Kansas City Star. The detective questioning Sykes said the suspect engaged in some very stinky behavior during the investigation. At one point, when the detective asked Sykes for his address, the suspect leaned to one side of his chair and released a loud fart before answering with his address. When Sykes wouldn't stop farting, the detective said he ended the interview. Police That's novel. I mean, I don't think it's going to get you out of any charges, but it's just going to at least delay the proceedings. When police searched the car that he was in, they found a backpack that contained various drugs and 2 handguns. One of the guns was a .357 Magnum that had been reported stolen out of a car in Independence, Missouri a few days earlier, according to court documents obtained by the Kansas City Star. I really wish one of my boys were here for this right now, because somebody else has to hear this besides me. But this dude was arrested for drugs and gun possession. And I don't know if it was just maybe a medical condition. He had the nervous colon, and he couldn't stop himself while he was being interrogated. But he was just sitting there. So, where do you live? Oh, okay. Do you know why we stopped you? I mean, I would actually kill. I would kill to see that on Law & Order one of these days, because that would just make me laugh so hard. Griffin Radio, bringing you all the quality, dignified news you can handle. Oh, man. The Roanoke Times... Ooh. Hang on. Let me try not to beat my mic stand here. Sean Sykes... okay, the Roanoke Times reported in Roanoke County, police arrested 21-year-old Manuel Carlos Ramirez Godoy in Sunday's burglary of Clean Sole shoes, who had stolen 7 right-foot Nike Air Jordans and a sweatshirt printed with "Call My Lawyer."
Shoes. 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 Oh my God. Shoes.
Clean Sole's operator Rob Wickham previously said he typically keeps the right shoes on display while their other halves rest behind the counter. A warrant says police had found a cash register behind the store along with a backpack containing merchandise worth $5,000 and Ramirez Godoy's student ID. They charged him with grand larceny, destruction of property, and other counts of criminal behavior. They also said this store has lost 20 other right shoes in the past year. So for some stupid reason, this guy decided that he needed to steal half of a pair of shoes repeatedly from this store. I don't get it. I don't know if he had some kind of weird foot thing going on, or if he was actually just donating to veterans or amputees that needed, just the right shoe of high-priced athletic apparel. But I just absolutely love that he stole a sweatshirt that had "Call My Lawyer" printed on it. I mean, Is that a self-fulfilling prophecy right there, do you think? I mean, that's just ridiculous. I really wish I could have been a fly on the wall to see that happen because what do you always see those t-shirts? People say it's got a shirt that says "Hold my beer," and then they end up blowing themselves up or dropping a dryer on them. It's just hysterical. I don't know. I think we got time for one more story here, one or two at least here. Oh, this was great. YouTube's outage last week may have spelled disaster for people wanting to watch videos of cute cats, but Pornhub certainly wasn't complaining. The site received an unexpected surge in visits during the outage, reaching 21% above its daily average at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Searches on Pornhub included ASMR, and other search terms dramatically increased while YouTube was down. Terms likely to appear on both sites saw even more hits, such as WWE, Bowsette, Fortnite, Minecraft, Game, Pokemon, Celebrity, Twitch, Overwatch, and Halloween. Now, I didn't actually look for any of these, but I would be fascinated to find out why people would think that Pornhub was analogous to YouTube and start doing... Okay, no, never mind. I know all about Rule 34. If you don't know what it is, go Google it because this is a family show and I am not going... Well, it was until I started talking about Pornhub getting a viewership boost because of a YouTube outage. But I just find it fascinating that people are like, well, I want to look up Pokemon and there's no Pokemon videos, so I guess I'm going to look up Pokemon porn. Sure, why the hell not? Oh man, that's just insane. I love it though. It's actually fascinating the different news stories that I've found that come out whenever a major service like YouTube goes out. It's always the porn sites that experience a huge spike in viewership, and I just find that so hysterical that people, they have an intent, they want to look for something, they realize that can't find something, so suddenly they're a little horny. That follows. It's like are you hungry? Are you horny? Can I I don't know if I can actually say that word on the air, but just pretend I said the word frisky in case anybody has an issue with that. I think we can do one last story here. Authorities say they've captured a man suspected of dumping his grandson's soiled diapers along several New Jersey roadways over the past year.
And I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Franklin Township Police say an officer acting on a hunch spotted 68-year-old William Friedman leaving a load of diapers in the area off Routes 47 and 40 around 3:15 a.m. on Sunday. He was taken into custody after a traffic stop. Friedman allegedly told the police the diapers came from his grandson, adding that leaving them around town without getting caught almost became a game. Ugh. Authorities say a motorcyclist crashed in June after running over a diaper Friedman had allegedly dropped. The motorcyclist suffered minor head injuries and his bike was totaled. He's been charged with interference with transportation and faces up to $1,000 in fines. What kind of sick bastard do you have to be to find it as a game to go around dropping your grandson's dirty diapers all over town? I don't get that at all. I mean, was he keeping score? Was there? Maybe they should check his friends on Facebook if he's got any. Maybe this was some kind of ring, and there's people all over There's people all over the country who are in on this game, and they're competing with each other. Could you imagine? I got nothing on that. That's just terrible. So we are going to go ahead and head out here today. Thank you so much for listening.
I'm going upstairs now and think about more comments for tomorrow.
So we're going to head out, and thank you once again for listening to Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday on Griffin Radio. I've been DJ Lunchbox. Don't forget to check us out on Griffin Radio 119, Griffin Radio SD on Instagram, and listen to us on the TuneIn app. Also, don't forget to email me at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com. We will see you back here next week, guys.
You're listening to the Griffin Grossmont College Radio, El Cajon, California.